if you saw the description this morning, are you one of the ones that have a hard time keeping plants or flowers alive, and no matter what you seem to do for them, they always seem to die? Is that you? Are you the one I'm talking about? Well, let me tell you a quick story. When I was a young man, a young kid, we used to have an ongoing joke about my mom. My mom was not the best cooker when she was a younger lady. She's gotten better now. But she also couldn't take care of plants, it seemed like. No matter what flowers or plants she bought, we always used to make fun, and because all her plants died. They always died. It didn't matter what kind of plant it was. Never survived our household when I was a kid. We always used to say that she'd even kill a cactus. Okay, and if you're not familiar with cactus doesn't need very much care, very much water. They're a survivor, desert type plants, those kind of things. So if you can kill a cactus, you probably need to stop buying plants and planting them. But today the question is if that's you, if you find that you're not the best caretaker of plants, like my mom was, what could be the problem? Okay, so pulling up weed just at the house, that got me to thinking about this. So I started putting this together. One of the worst things in the world for plants, depending on where they're at, is weeds. Weeds tend to grow around the plants. If you don't get rid of them, or the flowers, it could choke those plants out. It could take the nutrients and the water from the plants, so therefore they could die. So you have to make sure you weed them. It could be the weeds problem or the weeds fault. Also, it could not be getting enough water. Maybe you've had some drought areas in the country, or maybe it's an inside plant and you just don't water it regularly enough, or you water it too much. That could kill the plants. Okay, maybe it's a plant that needs some sunlight, and it's not in the right area of the house to get the proper amount of sunlight, or maybe it gets too much sunlight. Maybe in the house you get a plant that maybe don't get enough sunlight. That could kill the plant. So you could get not enough sunlight and too much sunlight, and that will kill the plant as well. Maybe it needs plant food. Maybe it's some type of special plant that needs certain type of food, or maybe it has to be watered a certain way, like a violet or something like that. It could be the climate that it's in. Maybe you're trying to plant a plant maybe that's in the wrong type of climate. Maybe the humidity's too much, or maybe the sun's too hot in your area. Maybe the sand's too salty, or whatever the case may be for that plant to grow. Okay, or it could be the soil. Maybe the soil is the wrong type of soil for the plant that you're trying to plant. Maybe it's a hard soil, hard clay. The roots won't grow like they need to get the flowers. Maybe the soil is too hard to let the water get in, those kind of things. Okay, those are all vital questions or issues why plants won't grow. I'm all for one more. Sometimes it's the plant. Okay, sometimes it's the flower. Maybe the flower has a bacteria, maybe it has a disease in it, and it keeps those plants from growing. No matter what you do, that plant could be the problem. So whereas you thought it was all these other issues, it could be the plant that is the problem. It's got a disease or bacteria or something that kills itself, maybe some other plants around it. Now, how are we going to apply this to your life? How are you like this plant? Okay, let's talk about your professional career. Okay, oftentimes you get unhappy in a situation you're in, no matter if you're in a car business or whatever job or profession that you're in, and it's one of three things usually that causes your unhappiness, or the fact that you are maybe not in the right situation. Okay, one of three things. So follow me on this, and you've heard me talk about these before, so it's probably nothing new. But much like all those things could cause the plant to die, where it doesn't matter what you do, the plant dies, it could be a bad culture where you work. Okay, when I'm talking about culture, maybe the culture, maybe they don't necessarily take care of people. Maybe they're not really concerned about others or the community, or maybe you have bad salespeople or associates working there that kind of drags everybody down. Maybe that culture is not cultivating what you're truly capable of, and sometimes you might have to change the soil. Right? You change that soil, maybe you find a better culture, right? I'm not saying that grass is always green on the other side, but sometimes to find out, you got to try it, right? Second thing is, the number one reason why most people leave jobs is management. Okay, maybe your managers are not good leaders. Maybe as part of that bad culture, they don't know how to deal with people, take care of people, lead people, which is necessary for a successful business. So there again, maybe the soil is the wrong soil. Maybe you're okay, but the soil's bad, so you got to change soils so you can grow. All right. The third thing, much like all those things could not have been the problem, it could have been the plant. Maybe the third problem could be you. Okay. Maybe you're not happy doing what you do. Maybe your profession is dragging you down. Maybe you've gotten sour at some of the people you work with, or maybe the conditions of the business you work in, and you're just unhappy. So that is you. Okay, that could be you. You may have to change soils, okay, to find out if it's you or not. But it could be you as well. Maybe you're not giving your all. Maybe you're not doing the things that you need to do, and therefore you have grown unhappy because it's your own fault. Okay, so those three things are just like the plants. Just like the plants could be the problem, or it could be the weeds, the soil, the water, the sunlight, the climate. Any of that could be the problem. It could be the culture of where you're working. It could be the management, which is part of that culture, or it could be you. All these three things can affect your job, your performance, your life, and your profession. Because if you're not changing soil, okay, if you're staying in that same soil, sometimes you're not going to grow like you want to. Okay, so I take that out there today. I hope this helps somebody. Like I said, I don't know if it's you or not. Sometimes you got to change the soil to find out if it's you, right? But if you have a bad culture and bad management, chances are at some point in time it is going to be me, because then I'd be unhappy. So take that out there today. Everybody have a great week. This has been the Fist Pump Guy, selling cars the right way, because it's the only way I know. Follow the Fist Pump Enterprise.